You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, soap fans. This is Rachel from Soap Dirt, and I've got your General Hospital spoilers for next week. For February 27th through March 3rd, I've got your dated daily spoilers so you can see what's happening every single day next week and get excited as we head into the very tail end of February sweeps on all of our favorite soaps. Of course, this week we have the revelation that Esme is pregnant. Now everybody knows that Ryan and Heather are her biological parents. Other big things this week is we finally got the Sabrina kiss, and how romantic was that? And then she wanted to spend the night with him, so it looks like they're about to kick into high gear. So jumping off all that, we're going into next week with some huge happenings. On Monday, February 27th, it's season 60, episode 116. Heather Weber is arrested, and everybody knows that she's the hook killer, which is really weird because everything doesn't quite align. And so it kind of looked like she might have been doing some of the killings and not. But either way, she's arrested and now presumed to have accomplished all of the hook attacks. But on Monday, she's angry and lashing out. Now, it's not clear why. It might be about her daughter being in labor. This week, we saw when Esme got away from Ryan and ran back into the house, she ran straight into Laura Spencer's arms. It's not clear if her memory is coming back or she just remembers how kind Laura was to her in the hospital, but she runs right into her arms, and that really pisses Heather off. So that might be the source of what's aggravating her next week. And an angry Heather is a dangerous Heather, so we'll have to wait and see. Also on Monday, Esme Prince is setting some boundaries. It's not clear if she's going to be carted back to the same facility where Heather is at, or if they're going to take Heather and send her to Darkham. I mean, she's going to have to face a trial of sorts. So are they going to actually put these two back in the same facility together? Also, we're going to have to wait and see if Ryan survives his encounter with Ava. Presumably he will, because why get rid of a villain that good? But Esme Prince is having to set some boundaries, and it's not clear who that's about, because Spencer is also front and center because he wants custody of the child she's carrying, because, you know, she's in her amnesiac state. She's not that bad, but regularly she's just a piece of work, as we all know, and Spencer really wants to protect them. Also, there's all these police all over Windermere, and unless Austin moved the corpse, which I don't think they ever got the chance to, dead Nicholas is still in the closet, right? I mean, they didn't even get a chance to throw him off the parapet. He's got to be a few days dead and smelling pretty ripe by now. So it's kind of interesting that we haven't addressed that. Maybe it'll work out where Ava can somehow blame Ryan for the crime. And who knows, Ryan might even take credit for the crime to save her, to make amends. So we'll have to see. Also on Monday, Curtis Ashford goes over to see Jordan Ashford. He's furious because she has suspected for months that he might be Trina's biological father, and she hasn't said anything. It's almost ridiculous that he's coming at her like that, because as viewers know, at every corner, whenever Jordan runs into Portia Robinson, she's telling her, come clean, get the information and come clean before this all blows up in your face. And rather than taking that advice, of course, Portia sees her as a rival and is like, screw you, and isn't going to do it. So Curtis goes to confront Jordan. It'll be interesting to see what she says and whether she thinks there's some hope for her and Curtis to reconcile, because Curtis's dad definitely, Marshall was encouraging him not to necessarily kick Portia to the curb over this. So lots to see there. Also, Laura Spencer on Monday offers Spencer Cassadine some encouragement. He's very upset about what's happening with Esme, and of course the revelation that Ryan is her dad, and Ava will probably give him the information that Ryan basically sicked her on him and put her on his tail in boarding school. That's going to be kind of a game changer for Spencer, because, he knows she was sketchy, but he doesn't know this. She is down to her very cellular DNA, scary, sketchy. Also on Monday, Molly Lansing offers a legal opinion. So we'll see who that's about. On Tuesday, February 28th, it's episode 117, and Trina is sticking to her guns about something. And this is probably walking out on her mother and not wanting to give her the time of day. She's not upset at Taggart. She's not upset at Curtis. She sees all three of them as a victim of this situation, but her mom's been sitting on this for 20 years, and Trina's rightfully mad. And so it looks like she's going to stick to her guns. Also on Tuesday, Ava Jerome is in a tight spot. So here's the question. Is that when they find the body on Tuesday? And if so, if Ryan's in the house being arrested, being treated for the gunshot wound, will he save her? Because that would be a great deal, especially since he took her daughter, if he can give her back her life. Because as she pointed out, the whole reason that it came to the conflict where Nicholas was threatening her and then she killed him is definitely down to Ryan's influence. So that'll be interesting to see if she can wiggle out of a tight spot. And she generally does. Ava knows how to talk her way out of things. So we'll see. Also on Tuesday, Jordan is surprised by Portia. Maybe Portia drops by to see her. Maybe Portia is unburdening herself to her. We'll have to wait and see. But that's an interesting conversation. Also, Sasha Gilmore is there to support Willow and Michael on Tuesday. Of course, Willow is facing questions of, mortality and how this will work out because the stem cells didn't work out for her. But it doesn't look like there's hope unless for some reason they can harvest the cord blood from Esme's baby and maybe try that because cord blood stem cells are extremely flexible. So maybe that's what saves her. We've also heard that there's a chance that Dr. Obrecht might be a match for her. So we're still waiting to see. But right now it looks like Willow is just in really bad shape and Sasha's there for her. Also on Tuesday, Liz Weber needs to offer Scott Baldwin a big thank you. It looks like he might go talk to Robert and try to get her out of a situation where she would be prosecuted for aiding and abetting. Of course, everything's going to change once Nicholas's body is found because he was the perpetrator of that. And if he can't be punished for his crimes, it stands like a chance that Liz could get away with this too, especially if Esme doesn't choose to press charges, which she might not. She might not, and especially with her memory gone, who knows. Midweek, it's March 1st, 2023, and it's episode 118. And TJ Ashford has some big news for someone. We're going to assume that someone is Willow, and maybe they've got some hope for her about her cancer and apostle therapy. Also on Wednesday, Dante Falconeri has a theory. Now that everybody back in Port Charles knows the truth about Esme, do they need to get more information from Nanny Maggie? Maybe they can just let her go. So we'll see. Michael also gets support midweek from his sister Josslyn and his mom Carly as they continue their ordeal and they want to try and rush out their little wedding. So we'll see what happens with that. Also on Wednesday, Liesl Obrecht is very upset about something. So it's not clear if it's about the DNA test or what's happening with Nina remaining estranged from Willow, but we'll see. That same day, Sonny corners Dex and he's sweating him. He's making him uncomfortable. Of course, Dex is keeping the big secret from him that he is canoodling against explicit orders with Sonny's ex-stepdaughter, Josslyn. And of course, Dex is also double dealing him by spying for Michael. So we'll have to see if Sonny has figured out some things. There's that big shipment that's coming through, and Dex and Michael seem to think that that'll be the big finish to taking down Sonny. But as we know, the Teflon Don doesn't go down easy, right? On Thursday in Port Charles, it's March 2nd, and it's season 60, episode 119. Laura spends some time talking to her deputy mayor, Eileen, who is terrified right now because she is being expertly gaslit and haunted by Anna Devane, who has her scared to death. But Victor is still pressuring Eileen, and so it remains to be seen how they can help her. But maybe if she opens up to Laura, then Laura can help her deal with Victor because he's pretty much persona non grata around town. Nobody wants him around, and everybody wants to destroy him. Also on Thursday, Gregory Chase has nothing but nice things to say to Alexis Davis, and perhaps it's about her coverage of the resolution of the Hook Killer case. Also, Christina gets a big surprise. We'll have to wait and see what that is. And Brooklyn Quartermain talks to Maxie and opens up to her. We're presuming this is about Hunky Chase, so we'll see. Also, Diane Miller spends time on Thursday catching up with Robert Scorpio. So that'll all be very interesting to see. As the week closes in Port Charles, it's Friday, March 3rd on General Hospital, episode 120, and Molly Lansing has a reason to feel uneasy. No idea what that's about just yet, but we'll have to see. But it's definitely nice to see both Molly and Christina back on the scene in Port Chuck and spending time with their family. Also on Friday, Spencer faces an obstacle. We're presuming that by then Esme may have given birth, and maybe there's an obstacle to him trying to take custody of the child. Obviously, if Nicholas was alive, he'd be fighting it, but with Esme off the hook in the Hook case, the only thing hanging over her head judicially is the revenge porn charge for what she did to Spencer and Josslyn. So we'll have to see what happens with that and what's in Spencer's way, because he definitely wants to protect this unborn child who is his brother or sister. Also on Friday, Maxie is looking for some more information. We'll have to wait and see what that is about. And Sasha wants to clear up some things on Friday. We're wondering if this has to do with Gladys Corbin pressuring her to sign over the garage because she owes Selena Wu big money for gambling debts, and she wants to get rid of her son's garage to satisfy that debt. But it doesn't look like Gladys is going to stop gambling, so this is just a slippery slope, and she might bankrupt poor Sasha. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Also on Friday, Alexis is a bit confused about something, so we'll have to wait and see what that is. But there's a lot going on as Sweeps wraps up in Port Charles, and we might have a new little Cassadine princess or prince by the end of the week. Heck, maybe even by the end of this week, but we'll have to wait and see what happens now that Heather has been arrested, and what happens with Ryan, and whether it's the end of the villain or Ava doesn't put all the bullets in him. So there's a lot to see, and we hope you enjoyed this edition of General Hospital Daily Spoilers for the week of February 27th through March 3rd, 2023.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.